Welcome back to Outriders. In this video I want to talk to you guys about the sign-in issues. I don't know if they're affecting all platforms, it's mainly Xbox. And before we jump into this video, make sure you are sub to the channel, turn notifications on, and if you want to support me as a creator, there are channel memberships, Patreon and a merch store you guys can take a look at in the description. Remember, all of that stuff is optional. And without further ado, let's jump into it. So, I follow this game heavily, I play it fairly often, and I've done, I think, around 150 videos for it. Most of them, yes, granted, they are rants. But in this one, I wanted to talk to you about the sign-in issues, because People Can Fly still cannot get this right after having tons of problems with the signing in. If I'm not mistaken, this all started with PlayStation users, and one of the friends of the channel spent 2 hours trying to sign in. They went out, did their own thing, shopping and everything, come back 2 hours later, their game was still struggling to sign in. Then they managed to put out a fix and a lot of PlayStation players had a much better experience, but when they did that, the sign-in issues kind of transported over, they converted over to Xbox users. I personally have never experienced issues, but I know a lot of people that have. I believe the first thing these developers did to try and sort this issue, or I say to try and sort the issue, the first thing they did was added telemetry in, so they could see whereabouts the sign-in issues were lying. Then in an update, maybe a couple of weeks later or something, they then added in extra steps to you signing in. So it didn't just say start game, you press A, then it goes signing in, authenticating or whatever, signed in. It starts giving you a better idea of what's actually happening. And then on the third update, they decided to say to everyone that they had sorted some of the sign-in issues. And that is the latest update that has sorted some of the legendary drops, sorted out some of the connections and stuff. They added some sign-in issue fixes, or so they say they did, within that same update. The problem with it is the fact that I have spoken to people myself that are either having the same problems they had before, or the problem is even worse. And I've spoken to someone that actually spent an hour trying to sign into this game on Xbox. My biggest issue with this is they fixed it for PlayStation, and it can't be too much different because it's all based on signing into the game. Yet for some reason, they can't properly fix it for Xbox. They haven't been able to for weeks and weeks. Even with the added telemetry, they still can't tell what the issue is with signing in. Even putting in the more detailed steps of how the game's signing you in has still not worked. And then actual patches still haven't worked. What I believe it is just something really bad in the coding for the game to sign in. Like something bad with the networking. I don't know from experience or anything. I don't claim to know anything about coding and dealing with networks and servers and things like that. But what I believe it is when you try signing into this game, it's going to authenticate it, it's going to download the server configurations, it's going to attempt to sign you in. Now, in most, if not all of the signing in cases I have ever seen in my lifetime, if you try signing in and it fails, it gives, like, even with OBS when you're doing a live stream, it gives you like a 10-second timer and then it retries to, like, it does a retry and basically tries again to establish that connection. That's where I believe it's messing up. I think this game isn't signing players in correctly, it's timing out, and they just haven't put steps in for it to attempt to establish that connection again. There's no retry in the sign-in, so it's timing out and it's just never retrying. The biggest problem with it is player numbers are still dipping after the legendary patch, the connection patch and everything. They haven't really seen an increase in players, at least on Steam, at all. They had a very quick spike when the servers come back up after the update, but it never actually passed its most recent 24-hour peak. And that is a really bad issue. But these developers are supposedly working on new content. They're wanting to keep the game alive because Square Enix have just made it a major franchise. And Xbox players still, like a lot of Xbox players, still cannot sign into this game, even after multiple changes to try and fix it. So the problem is, if I am correct and it's timing out, if I am wrong and it's something else within the process, it doesn't actually matter. What I say and what I think doesn't matter. At the end of the day, the problem is that people can fly who have developed this game and built it from scratch don't know what they're doing. They do not know how to fix this because they've tried, they failed. They've added in extra detail in steps and they still can't find the issue to fix it properly. So the question is, how long are these issues going to be a thing? When are they actually going to do something to fix these signing in issues properly? That's the biggest concern with this. Xbox players, I really wish you the best of luck to try and sign into this game. But I don't know if any fixes, like any more fixes, are planned and if they're even going to work. But with these sign-in issues, it's now got to the stage where it's taking the piss. This has been ongoing for weeks. It was with PlayStation. They fixed it for PlayStation, messed it up for Xbox, and they still can't fix it. So my final words before we wrap it up, PCF, get your asses in gear, fix it for the Xbox players. And for those of you having issues, I really do hope for your case that it gets fixed soon. Whether you're Game Pass or you paid for the game, doesn't matter to me. At the end of the day, it's your experience, you're trying to play the game. I really hope they get it sorted for you. And on that note, we're going to leave the video there. Let me know your thoughts and stuff in the comments and I'll see you in the next one. I hope you guys enjoyed it.